supply chain. They own everything all the way down the supply chain to individual farmers. Some farmers and stuff fall outside of them, but very few. Okay, and when you have such control over the food industry, over a supply chain of any nature, any industry, you can now change the industry any way you want because you have the whole control, and that's what they've done. Our food supply is drastically different than the way it used to be, and I'm going to only talk at a high level right now about this. So I'm going to do a deep dive into the food and tie it into the solutions when I get to the solutions. So just for now, what I'm going to share with you is I'm going to give you guys a story so you guys understand why I speak the way I do about food as I go through. Some people say I'm harsh, but once you understand my background and what I know, then you'll understand why I speak the way I do. And also I think it's really helpful for you to understand some of these things. Okay, so I used to work in a lab, and I used to run my own lab. I didn't own it, sorry, but I ran my own lab. I set it up. I had a team of researchers. I used to design experiments. I would execute experiments, and I had a team of researchers, including two scientists who worked in my lab, but also they worked in another lab. They split their time between two different labs, mine and the other one. The other one was a big food lab. They were specialists for food, and they were commissioned by the big food companies to do experiments on food and on the ingredients in the food, okay? And they would come into my lab and they would tell me what they were doing, and they would tell me what they were finding. And the story was always the same. The story was always the same. It was always, Dana, we did an experiment on these foods, these ingredients for, this company. I can't say the name of the companies, but I'll get in trouble. But for these companies, and this is what we found. We found that the ingredients that they're using in our foods, all right, the ingredients that they are using in our foods are splicing into human DNA. When you eat it, it splices into your DNA. It's mutating human DNA. Google what happens to you when you mutate your DNA. Google what happens long term when you mutate human DNA. What things happen 20 years later. Google what happens when you are affecting brain cells and you're affecting how the brain functions, right? You'll see the outcomes of this. So splicing into the DNA, mutating it, affecting brain function, shortening human lifespans, literally shortening the human lifespan. But also these ingredients were so strong that some of them that they were studying and doing the experiments on, they were so strong that even after you pass away at the end of your life, it has a longer lifespan than we do. Those ingredients would strong they are. You can never get them out of your body. Some of these ingredients, guys, literally, and they know they do this. The food companies know about this. These ingredients come into your system, and a lot of them, what they'll do, some of the most popular ingredients in our food today will actually glue themselves. They glue themselves to some enzymes inside the cell. They get inside the cell and they just are, again, they're messing up the cell. They're messing up your DNA in the cell. They're mutating it. They're affecting cell structure. But they also get in there and they actually glue themselves to enzymes inside the cell that your cell needs to survive. And those cells, as soon as they're glued onto by those ingredients, and they can never get unglued, and they die. And we know it does this, and they would go back to the food companies every time and say, hey, this is the results. This is what we're finding this stuff does. And we know this to be true. All labs across the world, all researchers in the food industry know what I'm talking about because they're finding the exact same. This is not a secret, these things. We know the food ingredients are doing this. And they'd go back to the food companies and say, hey, these are the results. Do not use these ingredients. This is our recommendations. Don't put that in the food. And you know what they would do? Every single time, the researchers would come back in and they would say, yeah, once again, they buried the study. They buried it and they're going to sell it anyways. Because at the same time, those same ingredients that are causing those results are the exact same ingredients that are addictive. And you know which ones those are. They are the addictive ingredients. They are the ones that do not make you feel full. You can have whole bags of processed foods from the store and be not hungry or not full afterwards. You're still hungry. You can have another bag of them, for example. Ever had like a cookie, for example, and you are eating it and you're like, it's not actually really that good. But then by the time you finish the first cookie, it's already actually messed up your reward system in your brain and actually affects the reward system. So even though you didn't actually like the taste of it, it activated reward systems, and now you want a second cookie, even though you didn't really like it, and then a third and a fourth. And you can have a lot more, and also you're not getting full because of the way they're manufacturing it, so you can eat so much of it. You have to understand